competition.
All right. So as real as possible. You know what I'm saying? Authentic.
Yeah.
Just like you on stage. Well,
On stage, I'm not my real self.
you're not? Okay, we gotta talk about that.
I'm a different side.
That's true.
Yeah. I think I'm better off stage, yeah? Personality-wise?
You are.
Thank you.
Well, no offense. You're good on stage too. But
It's different. Like,
yeah.
I don't think you would want to be friends with the person that's on stage.
No, that's not true. Why? Because you're...
Once people, I'm that type of hard ass when I don't know someone because I'm kind of shy. But then once someone gets to know me, that's when I'm like more goofy and like girly and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goofy and girly. I guess so. I find you more like
funny
off the stage.
But it's a different kind of funny, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what do you notice? Or I mean, you're supposed to interview.
You're like really easy to talk to. Yeah. And I feel like you off the stage you'd be friends with like everybody, which doesn't really say, like,
really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, I feel like on stage is the type of person that I try to remain like collected because I think my mom, like both my parents professors, you have to present yourself well. And then obviously, like when you're with your friends, they get to know kind of like your real self, or like they get to know you more intimately, or the version of you. I noticed that when I'm at night and tired, that's when I kind of give across the more casual telling a story vibe because I'm just like telling the joke for the first time, so I'm trying to say it as relaxed as possible.
Yeah.
And then that's when I kind of can slip into like that style where you're just like, oh yeah, you know how blah blah blah. Like, yeah.
That's the goal.
Right.
Yeah.
But then I also have to remember like how do I balance my own style, which is that kind of professorial vibe, with the relaxed thing. So I'm still trying to test the waters with that and like find my own voice.
I think you still do well, as far as I can remember from that scene. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, Corinna, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You're one of my BFFs.
Ditto.
Although you're much younger than I am, obviously.
Not much younger.
Yeah, you are.
So we can't make this too creepy. Like, I'm in your apartment with you alone. We're not that much.
Oh, yeah. A lot of comedian girls who have been on this podcast have said the same thing.
Really?
They're like, okay, well, let's keep it PG-13.
It's okay, I trust you.
If we were to compare ourselves to K-pop idols that are in our similar age groups, I would be like Super Junior.
You're not Super Junior. You're like Girls' Generation.
Same thing.
Or like Shiny. You're
no,
Shiny.
Not Shiny is much younger than I am.
Only by a couple of years. Aren't they like 34, 35?
Yes, thank you for that. But you are like twice age.
No, I'm younger than twice.
Really?
Yeah, like, wait, do you know G-Idol?
You keep mentioning them.
Or like ITZY. ITZY's my age. Like, they're born in 2001.
Oh, ITZY.
Yeah.
I'm not that generation. How about,
like, even Blackpink, they're older than me.
Blackpink's definitely older than you. Yeah.
Definitely. Or the youngest one was born in, what, 97?
Right, late 20s now.
Yeah.
Right? How about Haewon? Who's that?
She's in NMIX?
Yeah, NMIX, yeah.
I think she might have been born 2000, 2001-ish. So yeah, my age.
Okay. And you are?
2001.
Right.
Yes.
Oh God. I'm talking to a Gen Z over here.
Are you going to steal my identity with all this information?
Yes, identity fraud.
Yeah. You could pass off as Corinna Yee.
What does it feel like being Gen Z, Corinna?
It's always funny because I feel like I carry myself like a Gen Xer, but then I look like I'm Gen Alpha. Is Gen Alpha 19 years old? Is that the oldest Gen Alpha, or are they still Gen Z?
I think so. I think the teenagers now are Gen Alpha.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been told I look like 16, 19.
Yeah, you do.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think 16 and 19-year-olds dress like this, though?
Well, today you're dressed very formally.
I dress like this all the time, though.
It looks nice.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I guess like my face looks young, and then depending on when I get my hair cut, sometimes the short hair makes me look really young, and then other times it kind of makes me look. I don't know. Sometimes I'd like to think that the short hair makes me look more mature, but it does give me more of like a youthful like baby vibe. Like I look like what every Taiwanese teenager looked like in the 1970s.
Are you humble bragging a little bit?
What, humble bragging that I look young?
Yeah.
You look young too.
No, I'm just kidding. You do look young.
Thank you.
Like 16, brutal.
16
I feel like
to
you're
me is
gonna-
crazy.
Like you're gonna be like this, like even in your 30s and 40s.
God willing.
Yeah. How about your let's talk about. Do your friends think that you're young?
I think they just think of me as like one of them. Like they think of me. I have been told that I was like the baby of the friend group
Yeah.
because sometimes I like when I do get wacky or like when I get drunk, I tend to just like be like a 5-year-old that's all over the place. So I've been told that I'm young in that sense, but I don't think they've ever commented on how I look, which is probably good.
Right.
Yeah.
Might be a recipe for disaster,
Right.
especially with the girls' friend group.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, everyone. So Corinna very kindly invited me to hang out with her friends at the Sierra Madre Church, and that's how I got close to Corinna as well as her friends. That's kind of your network here in LA, right?
Yeah, it's funny. Like, I'm not a Christian, but I'm friends with a lot of Christians. And I was like, oh, I have all these friends that are Christians. And then, yeah, I was just like, it's a cool church. Like, I go even though I'm not a Christian. So I was
Yeah.
like, my thing has always been like, the people that I like, I try to connect them to other people that I like.
Yeah.
So when I was in college, like my apartment, there were 6 of us living in one apartment. And we called it the community center because we just combined like all of our friend groups every day. We had people coming over
Nice.
every day. They would stay even on weekdays. They would play mahjong until like 1 in the morning. Like we would have parties on the weekends. And I have like this group called the Lunch Bunch. That's my friend group.
Mm.
And it's basically just like most people know each other from me. I think there's like a couple
Oh, wow.
but like it was basically I just liked everyone. Anytime I saw someone that I liked or I didn't even know them that well, but I wanted to get them to know, I was like, come over to my apartment. And they'd come over, we'd play games and like drink and stuff. And so that's how everyone got to know each other.
When was the first time you invited me over to your place with Pili? Pili was living with you at the time or something like that?
She wasn't living with me, but she would come over a lot. So
Oh, I
I
see.
think Pili was over and we had just come home from an event and I was like, oh, I wonder what I was like, Terry lives near me. I was like, I wonder what he's up to. And then
I think it was like right
invited
after
you
we
over.
saw each other at open mic or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Interesting. So you were kind of like a super connector in your friend group.
In college especially. I think nowadays
Oh.
Peely's that person because she
Mm.
obviously has been here longer, so I go through her.
Interesting. Were you always very like popular, socially active?
When I was a kid, like this is not the crazy part, but when I was a kid I was like super shy. Like
Oh, really?
I remember kids would ask my parents in preschool if I knew how to talk
Oh no.
because I was like mute. And I did weird things, like instead of waving
Oh my
to people, I would like shake my leg at them instead. So I was like very opposite of how I am now.
Oh.
But I think when I started when I was in, I would say high school, that's when I started letting my sense of humor show more.
Yeah.
And then I think people liked that.
Oh.
And I was also kind of a smart ass in class, so I wasn't afraid to speak up if I knew the answer.
Oh.
So I think I felt more comfortable using my voice by high school, which is when I started doing stand-up.
You mean speak up as in like a class clown kind of thing? Like do jokes in class? Or what?
I mean, both. Like, I wasn't afraid to share the answer and be like a serious student, but I also wasn't afraid to like crack a joke. And I knew I could crack a joke because the teachers liked me because I knew the answer.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Do you remember until when you used to be kind of shy, on the shy side? And then you kind of broke out of that shell?
I think like even in elementary school, there was like shy moments, but I think once I started to know people really well, that's when I was like less shy. So even now today, like I still am shy when it comes to people I don't know. But then even if I'm with someone that I don't know, but if I have someone that I am close with, because I have them as kind of a security blanket, I can feel more comfortable to talk to that person that I don't know because I like am trying to impress the person that I already know. If that makes sense.
Have you ever done the I think I asked you this, MBTI?
Yeah, I haven't taken it in a while, but I don't really want to take it because I don't want it to have changed. Because I like being an ESTJ. That's what I am.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
It does sound like you. I don't know why.
What are you? Let me guess. I think I knew at one point.
I think I told you. INTP.
Oh, INTP. I figured you were an I and an N and a P. I was gonna get INFP.
Oh wow.
But I think you are a T.
Actually, I might be confusing myself. I think I might be INFP. Anyways, which one's ESTJ?
ESTJ, they call it the executive.
Oh, I see. That's very fitting.
Thank you.
What are some of the examples, like celebrities?
I think like Sonia Sotomayor on the she's a Supreme Court justice.
Ooh.
I don't remember the celebrities, but it's like, yeah.
I see.
I thought like having a Supreme Court justice that
does
isn't terrible is pretty good.
Fit the bill.
Female Supreme Court justice.
You mentioned religion a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
You are Jewish.
Yeah, it was crazy. Or not, I need to stop using the word crazy. That's how I'm Gen Z. I mean, it's an interesting story. Like, my parents sent me to Jewish day school when I was in elementary school. So for the first 6 years of my schooling, I was like doing Judaism, like every day. And so I was like...
Wait, but why?
Why do they send me to Jewish day school? I think like Chinese values align with a lot of Jewish values, and I talk about that in my stand-up, but it's a lot of emphasis on, like, this is my joke, is where I say, like, there's a lot of emphasis on education, honoring your parents, and an inability to digest dairy.
Oh.
Yeah.
I remember this.
But there's just, like, a lot of, like, cultural nuances. I think, like, the way that family dynamics play out is kind of similar, and then also, the emphasis on education, and that there's kind of an emphasis on, like, I guess maybe in Chinese culture, not necessarily questioning, but the way that my parents are, because they're both professors, they're very curious people. And so I think they liked that was the Jewish style of learning, because Jewish style of learning is questioning everything.
So the school itself, were you the only Asian person there? No.
I actually wasn't the only Asian person, because there was a girl who was adopted by Ashkenazi Jews, so her parents were white, but she was Chinese, because during that time, there were a lot of people being adopted from China, and I was also adopted from China, but by Chinese parents.
Were you two friends?
She was in 5th grade when I was in kindergarten, but we like clocked each other, so we would hang out on the playground.
Oh no! Yeah. Wait, that's a huge age gap.
I know. So I've always hung out with older people, Terry. Like even when I was in kindergarten.
Interesting. I can't imagine you being shy when you're younger. You're very articulate and expressive. I think I'm articulate, but expressive, I think, is something that people have to draw out of me once I get close to them. Interesting.
Yeah. I don't think I have trouble public speaking or anything like that, but if you want more of my personality to show, that's when you have to get to know me.
But you enjoy public speaking, though, right?
I do.
It's very, stimulating.
It's stimulating. It's, I just like being the center of attention.
Oh, that's the main factor there.
And the narcissist.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I think I have some narcissistic tendencies. I like to be the center of attention. And the other thing also is that, like I said, I'm a smartass. And so sometimes I hear people articulate things and I don't think they're articulating it well. Oh. And that's kind of when I want to take over and do the speech or the presentation for them, which is not a good habit. I need to let other people shine. Kind of like a speechwriter, or no? You'd rather do the speech yourself, kind of. I would do the speech, but I like writing. When I was in middle or high school, I did Model UN, and there was one time when I had we were coming to a resolution at the end of the conference, and I wrote the resolution for another country. And then I allowed the person representing that country to present the resolution. And that delegate didn't talk at all the entire conference, but they won Best Delegate because of the paper that I had written for them to read. Kind of like ghostwriting. Good at both sides of the fence. I think so. Yeah. Have you ever thought about going into that career path, law or government or politics? My mom always tells me that I should go to law school, but I'm not paying for that, But I think I could be good at being a lawyer, but it's not like necessarily what I want to devote my energy to.
Yeah.
So I think that's the reason why I didn't go. But I mean, all my life I thought I was, or not all my life, but I thought I was going to be a professor. And I was like, I'm never going to go to, and then as I got older and I realized like how hard it is to be in academia and how much like work you have to put into getting a PhD or to even like maintain a class, I was like, I don't want to do that. But I should never say never, because I was like, I'm not going to get a, I was like, I'm never going to go to grad school. I'm never going to work on a college campus. And now I do both. So.
Do you think that was influence from your parents? Did you get that from your, like, how hard it is to become a professor?
Yeah, I think like we all are just kind of intellectual people by nature, and so that's when I was like, oh, well, that's kind of the only career path I know, because both my parents are in the same profession, so that's like kind of what was like the only thing that I saw. And then my parents also were encouraging me to work for the government, and then at first I was like, I don't want to do that, but then now I'm like, damn, it would be nice to have some health insurance.
Government, like NGO, like a research, like something like that?
Not even that, just like any job. Like you could work in policy, because a lot of my friends work in environmental policy.
Really?
Yeah.
Like in DC or something?
They work in Massachusetts and Connecticut, so like Northeast. Whoa. Yeah, for the state governments.
And your parents teach literature?
So my dad's school is very liberal arts to the point where they don't have departments. So he's taught the entire catalog. Like he's taught everything from physics to music to literature. How does
that work?
He just like is a jack of all trades. Like he's a genius.
Physics and music
and like literature. Like they have something called the Great Books program where they read the classics. So instead of you like learning physics by like reading a textbook, you're learning Newton's like actual papers or Newton's like actual writing and stuff like that. So my dad also, like his program, you have to learn Greek and French. And so he will like learn those languages just so that he can teach them to the students. And then they analyze texts using those languages.
That's crazy.
Yes. But his PhD is in literature, but he's taught everything. And then meanwhile, my mom, she taught library information science. And that's also where her PhD is in. And
they are teaching in Maryland.
My dad's school is in Annapolis, Maryland, which is right across from the Naval Academy. And then my mom's school was in D.C.
I see. Was Johns Hopkins in the area or no?
Hopkins is in Baltimore, so it's like 40 minutes north of us.
Wow.
Yeah.
What are your parents like in person? They're obviously very smart.
They're very smart, but also I think that's where I got my sense of humor from them and my love for entertainment, because they watch so much TV. Like I don't even watch that much TV anymore because I don't own one.
Yeah.
But they watch every time I'm calling them, if they don't pick up, I'm like worried about them. I'm calling them again. They're not picking up. And then they finally pick up and they're like, oh, sorry, we were like binge watching this Chinese drama, and they're like 30 episodes deep.
I see.
And Chinese dramas, those things are like an hour and a half per thing. They're so long. They drag on so long. But my parents like love it.
Interesting.
But then when I grew up, like we were watching Seinfeld. Like they introduced me to Seinfeld. Like I was watching Seinfeld at like age 5. And so I think that's where like, even though I didn't know what stand-up comedy was at the time, I just, at the beginning of every episode where Jerry's like on stage doing a bit, like I kind of knew what that was, even though I didn't know it was called stand-up comedy.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of 5-year-olds don't watch Seinfeld or enjoy it for that.
I mean, I remember going to school and my kindergarten teacher was like, why are you watching Seinfeld? Why are you watching The Cosby Show? She's like, those shows aren't for 5-year-olds.
Cosby Show.
Yeah.
So it does sound very much like, the influence was very, like, defining, like, it led you towards comedy. Your childhood, early childhood, maybe?
Yeah, because also, like, when I would watch, I remember, like, when YouTube was becoming a thing and I had, like, my own iPad or, like, laptop, I would go on YouTube, and any movie that I liked, I would watch, like, behind the scenes. And so I liked watching not only how movies were made, but also interviews with the actors.
Yeah.
And I loved when they talked about, like, how they got into a role or how their personal life, like, shapes the way that they act. So even though I don't do that much acting, I've always thought it was a cool thing, and I definitely want to do more of it.
I think like you'll be a superb writer, like a TV writer.
That's the thing that like I'm not confident about, but I think it's just because I don't have enough like practice with like writing scripts and stuff. I've tried to, but like I think I shouldn't let that stop me. I think I need to keep experimenting.
Have you tried taking classes? Some of the TV writing classes are very helpful.
That's like, I don't know. I like read a book about it, and so that like kind of
Yeah,
gave me what I
that's
need
true.
for structure. But I think like because my brain has been so focused on stand up, I'm
Yeah.
still like working those gears too. And then I think, but also as I figure out how to formulate a joke and tell a story from stand up, it'll eventually translate. And once I'm motivated enough to actually put it into script form, that's when I can do it.
BJ Novak and Mindy Kaling were like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. So media and entertainment for the future, right?
Hopefully. I mean, you never know. But that was the goal when I moved out here.
Chinese opera.
Chinese opera? Oh, Chinese
Opera.
opera. Oh,
Sorry.
Oprah.
Yes.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, do you,
Giving out houses.
yeah, I do love bread, so.
Should we talk about Nikki Glaser or Nikki Howard? Both Nikkis.
Nikki Glaser is definitely like the reason why I think I decided to go.
Let's
all
talk
in
about
on
Nikki
stand-up.
Glaser.
Yeah, let's do Nikki Glaser first.
Is she an Aries or am I making that
No,
up?
she's a. What's someone after Gemini? Is that Cancer?
She's a Cancer, right?
I think she's either Gemini or Cancer. She was born in like June and July.
Oh yeah, that sounds familiar.
I think she might be born July 1st.
Yeah.
Someone want to fact check that afterwards? Let's see how right I was. Let's see how much of a fan I am.
Is she 40 this year?
I think something like that. Yeah, I think she was born in 86.
She's doing very well.
She's doing very well.
And she knows you. Kind of.
She knows that I exist. I don't think, like, so it's just crazy. Basically, the way that I got into her was, I think in high school, I was watching her roast of, like, Rob Lowe. I think she had done, she did Rob Lowe, Alec Baldwin. So, like, those earlier Comedy Central roasts where it's, like, people knew her kind of, at the time, like, all of her material was still kind of about sex.
Oh, yes.
I didn't necessarily relate to the stand-up material, but I thought her roasts were just so smartly written, and she's just like, her delivery was perfect, and it was definitely the kind of jokes that I wanted to be telling because I do like roast humor. And so when I got to college, she had started her, I think at that point it was like maybe her third or fourth podcast. It was called the Nikki Glaser podcast. It's not on anymore, but she had released that, and then the pandemic hit. And so during the pandemic, I was listening to it, and I think she had a lot of good messages about like accepting things the way that they are and just going with the flow, and that there's kind of her idea and mentality is that there's no free will. So it's like if something happens to you, if something shitty happens to you, it's like I didn't want that to happen to me. And it's like if you could control anything, like you wouldn't be, you know, a mess on stage, or you wouldn't, like, no one wanted to hurt this person, or no one wanted to, you know, make someone feel bad about that way intentionally, usually. So I think,
wow, that's very wise.
yeah, so especially during the pandemic where you have way too much time on your hands and you're thinking about yourself a lot, I think that was especially helpful. And it made me, I think, more confident in myself and the way that I can navigate things. And that's what gave me the confidence that, oh, she's a regular person that I hear in my ears every day, and she does stand up. I was like, why can't I do that? And so that's what I think gave me the push to try to get into the entertainment industry.
Sounds pretty defining, like a defining phase.
I think
when
so.
you were listening to Nikki's podcast.
Yeah, I mean,
were you doing stand up before that, or?
I had the first time I ever did stand up, I was a high school senior, and we had a talent show.
Yeah.
And it was something that I was like, oh, this is fun, but you know, like maybe I could do it on the side when I'm a professor. But then I think like sophomore and junior year, which was like when the pandemic was happening and when I was listening to Nikki Glaser, that's when I was like, wait, I could maybe do this for real. And that's when I started talking to like alumni from my school and trying to get jobs in the entertainment industry. And,
holy crap.
Yeah. So I think she did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get any laughs that first time?
I got laughs. Like, it was pretty good. It, like, thankfully, I did well. I think because it went well, that's why I kept doing it. Because my college had a stand-up club, and they would perform like once or twice a month in the campus pub. And they actually brought Nikki Glaser to campus.
Oh my god.
She came the year before I entered school, so I didn't get to meet her in college.
Interesting.
But so the first time I ever met her was when I had an internship in West Hollywood going into my senior year of college. And so it was the summer, and I was staying in West Hollywood for a month, and she was performing at Supernova, which was like this outdoor venue that had started because of the pandemic. And I saw that she was performing there, and I was like, yeah, so I go, and like her podcast fans were called besties.
Besties, right.
So if you say to her, she always says, like, she says, if you shout from me across the room, like, Nikki, I'm a bestie. I will run to you and I will hug you like you're my best friend because you are my best friend because you listen to me every day. Like she really knows how to do the parasocial relationship thing.
Wow.
And so I did exactly that. I said, I'm a bestie. And she like, and I remember at the time, like a photographer was kind of trying to push me out of the way because he was trying to get a shot of Nikki. But as soon as I said, Nikki, I'm a bestie, she like opened her arms really wide, kind of moved the photographer to the side and she hugged me.
My gosh.
And
Wait, from the stage?
No, it was like after she got off stage. Like I ran after her. Yeah, and so she was like super nice, and then she was happening to perform at the Supernova the next day, so I went again. And I said, Nikki, I'm a bestie. And she said, and then so she hugged me again, and she said, I remember you, of course, I met you yesterday. And then she said, I talked about you on the pod today.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my God. And so I think I met her like 1 or 2 more times after that too, because whenever she was performing at Supernova, I would just like try to go and see her. And yeah, every time she would like hug me. She took photos with me.
My gosh.
I even brought my friends, and my friends told her they were like, she talks about you all the time. Like anyone who knew me when I was in college, like the words that you would associate with me were Nikki Glazer, because I would bring her up in conversation all the time. And she said that on the podcast. She was like, yeah, I met this girl. I've met her a couple times. And her friends even validated. They were like, she was like, I love when my friends tell me, like, she talks about you all the time. So
that's
that felt
pretty
really
amazing.
Good.
I'll replay the podcast episode over and over.
Yeah, I have it saved. I'll send it to you. I have that clip saved.
I think, yeah, she's amazing, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Bestie, I remember the story.
Yeah.
Anybody else that comes to mind as your stand-up inspiration?
I really liked Sarah Silverman also, and Wanda Sykes. I loved
Wanda Sykes, really?
When I was really getting into stand-up in middle and high school, I was watching a lot of like female comedians, and I thought their humor was just like so smart. And
how about Amy Schumer?
Amy Schumer I like too. I think just like people get a lot of hate. People give her a lot of hate. And I think, like, also what shaped my opinion about Amy Schumer was Nikki Glazer. Like, people always say to Nikki Glazer, they're like, oh, you're like Amy Schumer, but actually funny. And she does not like that statement because she's literally like, the reason why I am the way, or she was like, a lot of how I developed my voice as a stand-up is from watching Amy. And Amy gave Nikki a lot of opportunities, too.
Huh.
But, you know, people have their opinions and stuff, but...
Are they both Jewish?
Nikki Glazer is mistaken for Jewish a lot because her last name sounds Jewish, but she's not Jewish.
Not Jewish, right.
But Amy is.
Right.
But Amy Schumer, I think, was also one of the first comics that I got into. Like, I remember watching her on Ellen DeGeneres, and she was doing a bit about how women's... I mean, like, probably now this joke is, like, overdone, but at the time I thought it was crazy because, like, at that time... people weren't really saying it, but she was like, yeah, in LA, she's like, my arms register as legs. And I was like, that was pretty funny, especially like, you know, when you're like 12 years old, like a 12-year-old girl in the, you know, 2010s.
How about male comedians? Do you ever listen to them?
I liked Jerry Seinfeld, just like from Seinfeld. I used to like Bert Kreischer.
Oh.
I thought he was hilarious. Just kind of like, he's a very like big, energetic personality, and I think that's also what I want to experiment with too.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the Jewish thing?
Is he Jewish?
Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh, Jerry Seinfeld for sure.
Sarah Silverman. Amy Schumer. Maybe I'm making that up.
Yeah, no, Amy Schumer. Yeah, I think so. Like there are a lot of Jews in comedy.
That's true.
And like I have a very, I think, Jewish sense of humor just because of like growing up in the community and just like watching Jewish comedians. But I have a joke where I go like, oh, people look at me and they don't think I'm Jewish, and then they hear me talk and then they're like, oh yeah, that's a Jewish woman.
When I think Jewish sense of humor, I think of Josh Snyder. Is that
Josh Snyder? That's very Jewish humor, yeah.
Well, how would you describe Jewish humor?
Jewish humor to me is a mix of complaining, but it's complaining or kvetching, and then it's also like, but it's like smart, and it's also kind of like looking for what the loophole is, which is, I think, like an important element of Jewish culture is like that. When I talked about how Judaism is all about questioning, I think the reason why Jewish humor is about kind of finding loopholes is because, yeah, you have to look at things from every angle of the situation, and I think that's what comedy is about. Comedy is about seeing things from different perspectives. You
remind me of this guy named Ian Russo, who's very much.
I remind you of him?
No.
Oh
what
my
you're saying
God.
right now. Yes.
Oh
You're a
God.
perfect mirror image. No, I'm just kidding. So he was telling me that the entire history of stand-up basically comes from that Jewish history and the Jewish diaspora and all of that. So I think, it's all very related. They're like ancestors, right?
Yeah.
Comedy ancestors.
And then it's also like, you know, a lot of comics obviously get into comedy because something tragic happened to them or they're dealing with some sort of trauma. And it's like, who's more traumatized than the Jews? You know?
Yeah, that's very true. But interestingly, Corinna, I don't think you come from like a traumatic background. You seem, actually, you come from a very stable.
Thank God, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like, there's different parts that you could say are traumatic, but it's not necessary, and not anything that's like earth-shattering or a matter of life and death, thankfully. But I mean, there's definitely moments that were like tough or things that shaped me,
Actually, yeah.
but that were difficult. But it's like that's life, you know?
Yeah. I remember asking you briefly about like mental health. Like obviously depression and anxiety is like a huge part of my daily struggle, but is it something that you go through as well?
Yeah, I mean, especially sophomore year when the pandemic had hit and I was like stressed from school, I think that's when my depression started manifesting. And that's when I went on medication. But, you know, it was a very isolating time, obviously,
it was.
The pandemic. And I think like Nikki Glazer, also that's the other reason why I got in her podcast was because she talked about her own struggles with depression.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And she gives herself she talks about giving herself grace and things like that.
Oh.
And so I think having her voice, I guess, validate a lot of my feelings and then also give me strategies on how to cope with it, I think is also why I clung to her a lot.
Oh my gosh. Was the podcast kind of like her talking into a microphone by herself?
Yeah, it was. She had a co-host, Andrew Collin. He's also stand-up. But her podcast didn't really have guests very often. It was a lot of just her stream of consciousness, and I liked that because I think she and I have similar personalities. And so just like hearing her just like ramble and say a lot of the things that I would be saying to my friends, that's what I think, I guess, brought me comfort.
Very nice. It sounds like it was a tough time, but it sounds like you were able to overcome it.
Yeah, it was tough, and like even moving out here, I think last spring was tough. I think because I was still in the middle of grad school. I still am in grad school, but I think the stress of like working, doing stand-up, and doing school was coming in a lot, and I was questioning whether or not I could actually be a stand-up or questioning the dynamics of the stand-up scene and whether or not that was something that I wanted for myself. I think like at the end of the day, I was just experiencing burnout. And that's when I think the depression was like really going strong. But I think over the past couple of months, I was like, oh, you know, I don't take my medication anymore. I feel like I can cope on my own. So I think whatever I needed to get out of my system, it happens in April of 2025.
April 2025.
Which was when I was turning 24. I also was like panicking about turning 24, if you can believe it. That's probably insulting to say to someone who's older. Yeah.
What was the panic about? 24.
I was just like scared of getting older. Like you're getting older, and then it's like, you know, you're expected to have your shit together when you're older. But then also, like, you have to remember, like, everyone's just faking it till you make it. And also, like, there are studies that show that adolescence has expanded to the age of, like, 28 or something because of the way that the world is, the economy is. Like, more and more people are living with their parents or they're not, like, financially independent. So they're like, you know, don't put too much pressure on yourself to be at these benchmarks.
Yeah, exactly.
And my friends put pressure on themselves. They want to have, like, they want to have a husband. They want to have kids by a certain age. And I'm like, yeah, but this isn't the 80s anymore where everyone gets married at like 23 and pumps out like 2 kids by 30, you know? Like, I was like, there's more options for us. But if you want to do that, like, do you. But I'm just like telling myself, like, I don't have to do those things if I don't want to.
Oh. Is this just your friends or is this a generation?
I think it's my friends, but also like generation.
Oh.
But like my friends, they're very much like me where we're very career driven as well. And so I think they're trying to cope with, how do I like find a family or how do I start a family but then also have my career? And I'm like, I was like, you have time to start a family.
Yeah, you have a lot of time.
Yes. Like, don't worry about it. Just have fun.
Yeah. Talking about marriage, let's go into that.
Yeah.
What is your ideal boy type?
My ideal boy. This is such a
Come
Korean
with a
question.
Korean-
This is such a Korean question. My ideal type of guy is someone who is intellectual but has a sense of humor, and they also have drive.
Wow.
And so whenever guys ask me, I've gone out with guys who are like, "What kind of guy are you want?" And I tell them that, like, and then I ask them the question, like, "What type of girl do you want?" And they always just say, like, "Oh, I want an Asian girl," stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't care what
Asian
color
girl
you
with a hot
are.
bod.
Yeah, I was like, I don't care about this. Like, give me some personality. If you have no personality, then like you're done. I don't care what you look like.
Mm.
And my friends tell me I like ugly guys, and I'm like, and they're not ugly. They just yeah. So it's like looks don't matter for me. And I was like, if I like your personality, I'm gonna find you physically attractive.
All the ugly guys, listen up.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you had the pick, if you could have just the ability to pick anyone in terms of looks, who would K-pop?
Oh God.
Take a K-pop example.
At the moment, it's Mingyu from 17.
No idea who that
Oh
is.
my God, this dude, Mingyu or Wonwoo. Wonwoo, I think it's Wonwoo. Is that how you say it? Wonwoo?
Wonwoo?
Wonwoo, yeah. So cute.
From 17?
He's so cute. Wonwoo, he's like, when he wears glasses, he's so cute. And then, but Mingyu is so hot.
Okay, let's look these guys up. I'm very curious.
I need to get a photo card for my phone or something to carry around with Mingyu. Like, he's so hot. And then especially after he got out of the military. I don't know if he was in the military yet, but there's a photo of him wearing a uniform. Okay, wait, just look up Mingyu.
Oh, you don't like all of them?
It's just like, we gotta get his,
Oh,
like,
I see.
come on.
Very good looking guy.
He's tall too.
How tall is he?
Probably like 6 something.
Oh God.
I don't like height doesn't really matter to me, but for some reason, like the guys that I have dated have been taller.
How old is he?
I think he was born in 96. 97 maybe.
This is your heartthrob. Who's the other one?
Wonwoo.
Oh,
But you have to look up
see.
glasses. Wait, type in glasses after that.
Glasses.
Because I don't like him without the glasses.
Oh, I
Isn't
see.
he cute? He's so cute.
Are you into the kind of the
Flower boy look?
yeah, the fair skinned flower boy look?
I used to not be, but I think just like being so used to like K-pop aesthetic now, I think I am more used to it. But I used to not. I used to like, yeah, I used to want dudes to look like more masculine. But now I've never been like into guys that were super like burly looking or super like hyper masculine. Like I've always liked when guys had a softer, friendlier side to them, I think.
How about Stray Kids?
Oh, I used to
don't
like
like
Changbin.
Oh.
I thought he was kind of like cute. But I don't really follow Stray Kids that closely.
And you don't like BTS, right?
BTS I like Jimin. I think Jimin's cute. I think J-Hope's cute. I think who else? Oh, Jungkook. Yeah.
How do you even remember all their names?
Because I have too much time on my hands. I was unemployed for a little bit. Yeah, Jimin, Jungkook, and J-Hope. That's
Is
my
that right?
lineup. That's Jimin,
Jimin,
yeah.
yeah.
I used to like
Who's the leader?
it's RM, I think. I used to like Jin. Remember at the Hollywood Ovation they had like on the elevator they had Jin's face?
Where?
Like across from the Kookaburra Lounge. On the
Oh,
elevators they used to
yeah,
have
yeah,
like
yeah.
Jin's face. And so I used to like wave to him every time I saw him.
Where did the K-pop kind of that fandom come about in your life?
I first got exposed to it when in college when my roommates were K-pop stans. My friend likes Danny, you've met her. She likes TXT.
Right.
And then my other friend likes 17.
Ah.
But they were like in the dance group, like they were in the K-pop dance group. I wasn't into it at the time, but I appreciated it. Like I remember during the pandemic when BTS was on Jimmy Fallon and they did that.
Ooh.
They did like they performed on, I think, in Grand Central Station. So I was like, oh, that's cool. So I watched like Black Swan and I thought like Jin was cute. But I wasn't like a fan until
Right.
I moved out to LA where there's just like so much Asian culture happening around you all the time. It's like so much easier to be Asian out here because like you just have more content in your face. So
Yeah.
that's when I really got into it.
So it started pretty recently.
Yeah, it's like kind of bad because it's like I feel fake because I'm like a baby fan, but it's like when you get into it, you go in hard, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like I got the knowledge to back it up.
The intensity backs up for experience, I think.
Yeah.
And Yuna, right?
Yuna from Girls' Generation, yeah.
And Rose.
Rose, yeah, from Blackpink.
Yeah.
Love those two.
Okay.
Rose, I think she's so talented, and like her album that came out, the one that has like Apato with Bruno Mars, like that album is what got me through April 2025.
Really? Apato just makes me crazy.
Well, not that song, but the album, because like she has one of the songs was like #1 Girl, and that was the first song that I had heard from that album, and it talks about like there's this line that really stuck with me that was like, I would give it all up if you told me that I would be the #1 girl. And it's like, that's how I was feeling in that moment when I was questioning stand-up, questioning my place in stand-up and in entertainment. I was like, I would literally give up everything if you just told me right now that I'll be fine. Like that kind of dichotomy or whatever, like that dilemma that you have of like, I want to skip to the good part. Like that's how I felt. And so the way that she vocalized it, I thought was just exactly what I was feeling in that moment. And then she has another song called Stay a Little Longer. That one is so good. I love crying to that song.
You love crying to that
Yeah, it's a good song.
What makes you cry in that song?
It's just gorgeous. Like the melody is gorgeous, and it's like talking about like wanting someone to stay, but you know that like they're not good for you, and so you just have to like, you're like looking for every reason to like be validated for you to not want them to go. Or for you to want them to go.
Sounds pretty complicated.
Yeah, it is complicated. And at that time, I was dealing with like a friendship breakup and stuff. But we're back on now, so that song doesn't hit as hard.
Girl drama?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what's a stan?
You don't know what a stan is?
For all the people who don't know.
Oh, a stan.
This, as well as myself.
Well, the background of stan is from that what's that Eminem song where he's talking about, isn't it called Stan? Basically, Eminem had a stalker where he goes like, and the guy kept writing letters to him, and he'd be like, I'm your biggest fan, and then he would sign Stan. And so it's like, Eminem wrote that song about his stalker. And so to stan someone means like you really, like you're not just a fan, you like are obsessed with them. Yeah.
Got it. Interesting. I gotta look this up.
Yeah.
So you're a K-pop stan?
I'm a stan for, 3 groups.
Got it. Which are?
In order of generation, Girls' Generation, and then
Did they retire?
Okay, they're not retired. Like they're not officially disbanded, but they're not like really active. But they're coming back for the 20th anniversary.
Really, 20th?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
I know.
They were half when I was in college. That was their height of their career.
If we really want to talk about the first time I saw any Korean content, I remember like on YouTube they had like this there was a video that came in my recommended, and it was from their variety show Hello Baby. Do you know the show?
Sounds familiar.
It's basically where like Korean celebrities like babysit this kid, and they were like chaotic, and I thought it was hilarious. So that's when I first saw them back in like 2012 or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
You were like 6.
I was like 11.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You're right.
But Girls' Generation is Gen 2. Gen 3 I like twice. I'm seeing them tonight.
Oh, right. Is it tonight?
Yeah, I'm seeing them tonight and tomorrow. So, this is a big
Very
deal
Korean
for me.
day.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then for Gen 4 I like G-Idol.
G-Idol.
Or Idol now. They changed the name.
Oh, man. I'm jealous of it twice. Please take a lot of photos.
I know. Ugh, you should have come with me.
Sana is my favorite.
I know Sana's your favorite. Because you know Japanese.
Yeah, but she looks a little different now.
Mm-hmm. She's so gorgeous, though.
She is. It was fun. I thought it was funny when you were talking about this LA dating culture the other time when we met. Could we delve into how terrible it is?
Sure.
What you don't like about it?
Yes, please. Do you have any questions, or do you just...
Questions. Are you on Hinge, Tinder, Bumble, Coffee Bagel?
What was the third one? Coffee Miss Bagel?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm mostly on Hinge.
Hinge.
Yeah. On and off. Like, the way that I treat Hinge is kind of like jury duty, where it's like every couple months it feels like something I have to do, even though you should go to jury duty. But, like, every now and then I get the hankering to go on Hinge. I go on it. I go on like 1 or 2 dates, and then I'm like completely over it. And then I've put in my time until the next couple months roll around.
Wait. 1 or 2 dates with the same person?
Depends.
Usually it doesn't continue after the first date.
Sometimes it does. Like there have been a couple times when I've gone out with them. I think like the most I've ever gotten is like 6 with someone.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but I think at the end of the day, it's just like, especially now, like when I'm back in my semester and I'm like doing stand up and like working, the last thing that, like, if I go to school and then I hear some of my classmates say things that I just don't agree with, or I'm like very impatient because it's like nighttime and I'm tired, and so everyone's pissing me off regardless of what they're saying. And then I'm going to an open mic and I hear guys just like tell jokes that have no form and they just are rambling into the mic, and I'm sitting there for an hour and a half just to do like my 5 minutes, and then I go home. The last thing that I want is a text from a guy that I don't know, you know? So at the moment, I feel like I have no capacity to date, like no brain capacity. So like I was talking to my parents yesterday. I was like, it amazes me how my parents dated, got engaged, got married, all while they were doing their PhD. I was like, you guys must have been down bad for each other, because I like don't want to talk to anyone that isn't already my friend.
Well, actually, it sounded like it worked out for them because they were both kind of in the academic phase of their life together. And they were both like intellectually compatible.
I think so. Yeah. Like they got lucky that they found each other.
And didn't you say that you find most guys in LA pretty dumb compared to you?
I think the ones I've met some smart guys. Like I think they're cool. One of them was like way too smart for me. Like all he wanted to do was talk about his studies, and that's why I think when I say like I want someone intellectual but also has a sense of humor. Like when I remember.
What did he study?
He was an ornithologist. He studied birds. He studied birds. And I used to say, I'm interested in a different type of pecker. You know what I'm saying?
Oh God.
Because it's like
how do you come up with these?
He was good. He was very smart, and he clearly like had that drive and like curiosity. But I wanted him to like talk about things outside of that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But I guess if you want to be a bird expert, you need to be crazy like he is.
Right.
Interesting.
He was passionate, but I just like I couldn't get into the passion.
What about sense of humor is appealing to you?
Sense of humor, it's not even just about like being able to laugh. It's just it's like what sense of humor to me is.
Josh Snyder is very funny. Do you find him attractive?
I can't.
This is public, everyone. Hi, Josh.
I think he's a cool dude, and I think like anyone who got to know him would be a lucky person. I think he deserves happiness, and I hope he finds it with someone. If he's looking for a partner, I hope that he finds what he wants, because he's a very good guy.
Very political.
In my opinion. I mean, that's the honest truth. I think he's smart, he's funny, yeah. Interesting. A sense of humor to me is humility. Like, I remember hearing this on Bowen Yang's podcast, Las Culturistas, and he was interviewing one of the SNL alumni, and she talked about how like her best friend, I think it was Anna Gasteyer maybe, which he was interviewing, I don't remember, but she was talking about how her best friend when she was growing up in DC was like, I think Jimmy Carter's daughter or something, and she talked about how Jimmy Carter used to watch SNL and like laugh at the jokes, and especially the opening, what do they call that? The cold open, where they would make fun of him, and he would laugh along with that. And she was saying how we don't have that in this country today because it's so hard for like Trump and like sorry to get political, but she was saying how it's like so hard for people to just like laugh at themselves because everything is about like, no, this is my opinion, blah blah blah. And so it's like if you like, it's not even just about being able to laugh at other people, it's being able to like laugh at yourself and like not internalize like anything that's being made fun of you. Like that's when I think that's a sign of emotional maturity.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you find that most people are not capable of that, like Americans?
I think most people that I encounter with, they have a sense of humor.
Oh, but you said maybe like Trump or like.
I think like people who are like on a power trip and like they're just so used to having yes men around them all the time. Like I think they've conditioned themselves to like not be able to laugh at themselves.
Interesting. So you find self-deprecation humor like a major part of
Yeah, because I think like what I try to do is I don't want to punch down,
Mm.
and so I try to punch up or punch at myself,
Mm.
and that's because it's like I think the easiest way, like it's kind of a trick where it's like the easiest way to get the audience on board,
Mm.
especially if they don't know who you are, is to just like make a joke about my appearance,
Mm.
because it's like, oh, I clearly look like a vice principal, or like Edna Mode from Incredibles. So
Mm.
it's like, if you want to get a quick laugh from the audience, just make fun of yourself,
Mm.
because it's like if you make fun of them, like that's just going to alienate them immediately.
Mm.
Like I haven't built that rapport with you, so I try to like make fun of myself and see and like show them like, hey, like I'm playful, you know. So I think it's just like easy to make sure that it's a way to make sure that everyone's on the same team to
Mm.
begin with.
I think your sense of humor is very. It's intellectual. Like I feel like there's a lot of different levels of humor, and you're always going for the hard level.
Thank
Like,
you.
Yeah, it was like you were saying the loophole. Like
Yeah.
I think most comics, um, like in the open mics, most of them are trying to take the easy way out.
Mm.
Yeah.
I try to have my jokes be smart, and I try to have them have multiple levels, but also like you have to remember, I guess, like like Nikki Glaser said this, where she's like, dumb people deserve to laugh too.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's like there is something for everyone. Like
Yeah.
if a dumb joke, like so I laugh at dumb jokes too, but it's like I try to write whatever I'm gonna find funny.
Yeah.
And so like maybe someone, you know, in the audience isn't gonna find it funny, but hopefully someone else will. And like that's the person I'm trying to connect to, is
That's
someone
true,
who
yeah.
sees
Your
things.
crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially like because I have so many intersecting identities, like the Chinese Jewish thing, and you know, like having professor parents, it allows me to just like I have a lot of exposure to different cultural nuances, so it allows me to, I think, play with a lot of different types of audiences. So that helps.
I wonder what it is about male comedians that makes us resort to mostly penis humor compared to like the cultural nuances that you just.
I think I think there are definitely like male comedians that are smart, especially like the late night comedians. But
Who do you like?
I used to love Conan O'Brien.
Oh yeah, Conan's great.
Yeah. He's a type of person that is just like is not afraid to make a fool of himself, and he will go like the extra 10 miles if he doesn't care if he's about the joke. Like he is just trying to get a laugh out of you, and I like that. But I don't know, I think maybe it's just like if you want to get on like a scientific level or something, I don't know, maybe it's just like male brains are just different from women, like they're just wired differently.
The only problem with Conan is that he's not very good looking.
You don't think Conan's good looking? I think he's good looking because he's funny, and then so therefore I think he's good looking.
We're all big fans.
Yeah.
I think he has a lot of Asian fans.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
And because his name is Conan, so all the Japanese people, or anyone who likes Conan the detective.
Definitely. Is there anything I didn't cover that you wish I would have asked, correct?
I don't know.
Do you have any fetishes?
Fetishes. That's how I know they got a male podcaster.
If I could send this video to you in 5 years, you would be 29.
Oh my god.
Where do you see yourself? No. I would ask this for everyone. But what would you say to your future self?
My future self, I hope that you are healthy and that you feel fulfilled and you are continuing to like do whatever makes you feel balanced and I guess inspired.
Very mature.
I just like I don't want to be spiraling. I hope like I know that like with age you feel more grounded and steady, and I think like that's why what was hitting me in April 2025 was I was starting to feel that panic of being like, oh, not everything's laid out for me, and a lot of things are determined by me, but also there's a lot of things that are out of control. Because like I think one of the hardest parts about being in your early 20s, and I talk about this with my friends all the time, is for so long we were in school being used to like, oh, I write this paper, that means that then I graduate to this grade, and then I do this thesis, and then I get my degree, and then I get a job, and then now once you're in the job, you're kind of like, you're not at the end, but for the first time, there's not there's not a step that is just laid out for you. Like, you have to make that decision. You have to have that own motivation. And I think that's what was scary to a lot of us, was like, oh, what do we do with ourselves? It feels like we have no purpose. How do we find intellectual stimulation on our own time? Because it's not just laid out for us on a college campus.
You need to be some kind of a education administrator.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, like a principal.
Yeah, oh my God, what if I'm like a principal in 5 years?
That'll be amazing. Thank you so much, Corinna.
Thank you, Terry.
Please have fun at Twice concert tonight.
Yes. I'll say hi to Sana for you.
All right. That was good.
Thank you for